Now, a new kid on the block in the African broadcast scene, Kwese Sports and American giants ESPN have signed a one-of-a-kind long-term deal to collaborate in an interesting matchup for African sports fans. Yesterday, I spoke to Phil Murphy, the host of ESPN's iconic Sports Center, a daily sports show broadcast to the United States, about this deal. I started by asking him what he saw it doing for the African sports fan, as well as the industry on the continent. This is what he had to say.
We want to be the one-stop shop for any sports fan who has any appetite for American sports. Now, we mentioned the partnership with Kwese Sports, and they're doing a fantastic job covering international sport, rugby, athletics, your passions, as well as F1 racing, international football. Now, we'll touch on those topics, but we're really relying on them for international sport coverage. What we're offering, specifically through Sports Center, is fun, fast-paced recap of all the top stories in American sport, and then elsewhere on the ESPN channel, which launches March 8th, 4 p.m., we'll have thousands of hours of live coverage. We'll have studio shows that have had a lot of success in the States, informing the American sport fan, like Pardon the Interruption, Around the Horn, names that African sports fans will become more familiar with over time, as well as documentary series with the 30 for 30, and then culminating every night, 8 p.m. Central Africa time, 7 days a week on Sports Center.
Wow, sounds like you've got it planned out already. In fact, a question for you. Are you broadcasting already?
We are not yet. We launch March 8th. Now, Kwese and the Kwese bouquet, they have Kwese 1 and Kwese 2, and you'll see if you tune into those channels and those territories, they'll have NBA shows and international sports shows. I made some appearances on those in the last few days. They have live coverage overnight. And again, American sport, when it's broadcasting live in Africa, is starting about 10 p.m., maybe Central Africa time, and broadcasting through the night. So if you want to watch live, it's there. But they also have re-airs throughout the day. So whatever works with your schedule, Kwese has. But ESPN in particular, that channel launches March 8th, which is only about 3 weeks away.
No, it's not far at all. In fact, let's talk a little bit about the territories you just mentioned. You mentioned that there are some places where someone can catch some of the live sports, the live NBA, the live NFL. Which are the biggest territories that you know of already? Okay,
so it's a robust list, so I do apologize to our partners at Kwese if I leave a few out. But it's 19 countries. It's Nigeria, it's Ghana, it's Democratic Republic of the Congo, Kenya, Tanzania, Ethiopia, Senegal, Mozambique, Malawi, Angola, Namibia, Mauritius. I know I'm forgetting a big one there, but it's a very broad area, which is challenging because we know that different sport fans in those areas have different appetites for both international sport and American sport. But like I've said, on many airings and many television shows to this point, we hope to be the all-you-can-eat buffet for American sports. So whether your appetite is small or large, we want to be the place you go.
Well, that said, I mean, some of the territories you've mentioned have various different languages.
Yes.
You've mentioned a couple of Portuguese-speaking, as well as French-speaking, as well as English-speaking territories, or countries, rather. Would you be broadcasting just in English? Would you be looking at doing simulcast in other languages as well?
To this point, we're broadcasting in English primarily. But again, international sport, if you're a live sport fan, I spent some time growing up living in Germany. I don't speak a word of German, but I was able to tune into the Bundesliga, follow it closely.
Oh, yeah.
Kaiserslautern in the late 90s was fantastic. That was my team. So the live sport element, I think, will have appeal to fans who maybe don't speak English or are learning English. But to be honest, I mean, you spent some time in Argentina yourself. Yeah. You know that watching sport in a foreign language can actually help you learn the language and grow familiarity with it. So yes, our studio shows will be in English. Sports Center will be in English. But again, the live sports coverage, I think, has a particular appeal for fans who may not speak the language.